Ear training, or aural skills, A-U-R-A-L, is the ability to hear and recognize pitches in real time so that you have an intimate understanding of the music that you are listening to or the music that you are creating. For singing, this has a direct and dramatic impact on how well we are able to sing in tune. It allows us to more accurately predict the next pitch that we are going to sing, and as such means that we can be more accurate. This is critical, particularly when you are dealing with pitches that are in the zona de passaggio or above your secondo passaggio. In other words, higher notes. Ear training is something that I struggled with mightily at university. And as such, it is something that I still practice every day in order to make sure that my skills stay sharp. Now, more than ever, there are resources that are readily available and free to use that can help you with this practice. And I'm going to show you how to get started with an ear training practice that scales up in complexity as your skills grow. But we're going to start pretty much at ground zero here. You could maybe go a little bit further to basics and things like that in terms of identifying pitches that are higher or lower. But we're going to go really, really back to the very basics of ear training. Before we do, I do not have any affiliations or associations with the website that I'm going to show you. It's a website that I've been aware of for quite a while now. I wrote it up for the first time in a blog that I used to write on MySpace, of all things. And it was called Rules of the Road or something like that. And it was when I was touring a lot, particularly in the Pacific Northwest. And I referenced this website in those diaries that I would often do from cafes in like Portland and Seattle and things like that. Lovely, lovely stuff. Anyway, the website's musictheory.net. And I wrote to them asking for permission about this. I didn't hear back, but they say they can't answer every question, so that's fine. But in general, in their FAQ, it says they're happy for people to share their website and share the resources that are there to tell others about it. And so I am doing that here today. I would encourage you, if you find yourself using this website, to support them. There is an app that I think costs, I'm not sure what it costs, but there is an app that you can purchase. I'm sure there are other ways to support them on the website as well. So I would encourage you to do just that. Without any further ado, let's go over there now. When you arrive at musictheory.net, there very clearly at the top of the screen, you will be confronted with this. And rather than click on any of this stuff, come over here to exercises. Now, all of this stuff is awesome, and I would highly encourage you to, do them all. Like, go through all of these different elements. But I'm specifically thinking about ear training for vocalists, for what we do all the time. And so we'll click on exercises, and then we're going to scroll down to ear training. And we are going to do note ear training. Listen and identify the played note. Click on that. And it'll immediately do something like that. It'll play you an interval of some stripe or another. We are going to make this a little bit easier to get our practice started. So if we click on the gear, here it'll say notes. Now, for our practice purposes in this video, we are going to do a bit of C major. You do need to know the notes for C major. Now, you can find those very easily if you do a quick search online. But once you've got the 7 notes for C major, we're going to eliminate some of the options, specifically D, F, and A. And we are going to leave ourselves with C, E, G, and B natural. I am suggesting you do this amount because there are enough differences in the way that these pitches feel in relationship to the tonic and the directions that they flow towards the tonic. And it's pretty dramatic. You can really, once you get into the practice, you'll start to really hear the motion of the notes towards the tonic. The tonic is C. This may take a little bit of time and practice, but that's what this is so good for, is that we can practice again and again and again with this. So we're going to start by eliminating some of these. As it becomes very easy to do the tonic triad plus the leading tone, you can add them back in, or maybe add one at a time in order to incorporate that into your practice. Back out of that. Pitch. This is referring to our reference pitch. We are in the key of C. We could change this to a different key, but we're going to use C for our practice purposes today. C4 for me is a perfectly reasonable reference pitch. We do want that reference pitch to be in the comfortable area of our voices. So if you are of a much lower vocal persuasion, lowering that to C3 might be better. If you are much, much higher, C5 might be a better place to put that reference pitch. In truth, there are probably other key selections that might suit you better, but for our purposes today, we're going to stick with C. Speed, slower, this is just how it's going to play the interval. Slower is good for us right now. Instrument, modern piano. It's really awesome, the variety of different reference pitches you can use. Piano is one that you hear very frequently. It's a fairly neutral choice in my opinion. That being said, if you are primarily playing acoustic guitar and you want to make sure that you're referencing an acoustic guitar, by all means choose that. Range. This is particularly important in that this is meant to be a beginning practice for our ear training. So we are going to stay in the very most comfortable range of our speaking voices, not our singing voices. The expansive range that we can often work ourselves up to with our singing voices can prove to be more challenging for ear training, especially if we don't already have an established ear training practice. So, for me, I'm going to make this from C3 to C4. This is an octave in a very comfortable area of my voice. Doesn't require any special kinds of vocal practices or things like that for me to sing any of these pitches, because I'm going to be referencing and using my voice quite a lot in this practice. Note names, we could choose from solfege or scale degrees and things like that. Scale degrees might be something that could be helpful in terms of using those scale degrees as solfege numerals. For our purposes today, I will be calling out those numerals. However, I'm going to leave the letter names up. Once we have all of that customized, we can begin our practice. If you are extremely new at this, it may be beneficial, as it was for me, to sing the pitches. So here you have your reference pitch. Ba, ba. I can hear that that's lower than my reference pitch. Ba, ba. When I firmly establish that, I'm going to try to go back to the tonic. Ba, 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 ba. There, I've gotten back to my tonic. Ba, 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 ba. It was the first note I sang, there was another note, and then I arrived at the tonic. 5, 6, 7, 1. 5, 6, 7, 1. That tells me that it's the fifth of the scale. It's G. The screen will flash green to show you that you've done it correctly, and then it'll immediately give you another note. If you missed it, go ahead and play it just by clicking in the field. Ba, ba. Here we can hear that there is no difference between these pitches. It's a C. Ba, ba, ba. Now, it may not immediately feel this way, but when I sing this lower pitch, it doesn't want to ascend towards the tonic. I want to sing down to it. Ba, ba, ba. And now I've arrived at the tonic below, an octave below our reference pitch, C3. Ba, ba, ba. 3, 2, 1, or in solfege, mi, re, do. Therefore, it's E. And here again, it's going to give me immediately that next pitch. And we can go on like this for as long as you wish. I would suggest a manageable amount of time each day. It doesn't have to be a lot to get started, and then you can begin to add more notes to your practice. Here we can hear that there is a great amount of similarity between these pitches. One happens to be an octave lower than the other, so the note is C. Here, I listen to it. Where is the nearest tonic for me? Ba, ba. 3, 2, 1. Our answer is E. Once again, there's little to no difference between these except that it's an octave apart. And we can keep going and going and going. When you are getting good at this and you are getting scores well into the 90 percentile, you may then want to add more pitches. You can try adding the second scale degree, maybe adding the fourth, or adding the sixth. I would suggest that you start with the second scale degree, go on to the fourth, and then the sixth. That, however, is in some respects reflective of my own struggles with this practice. It was traditionally for me the sixth scale degree that I found most challenging. But I'll do more videos like this because it's such an important practice for us in order to really be able to accurately predict the next pitch that we are going to go to in the song that we are singing, or for that matter, singing harmonies. This kind of practice is absolutely super helpful for working on harmony parts, being able to hear the melody of a song and then immediately find the next available chord tone above or below the melody for that matter, so that you can get a harmony going really, really quickly, maybe even decide on some different choices that you wouldn't necessarily have immediately chosen had you not done the ear training practice. So I do hope that helps. Ear training is something that I think is so vitally important. I haven't done nearly enough of it here on the channel, and I really want to do more in the hopes of helping us all sing just a bit more effectively and enjoy the process so much. If you're still here, I hope you'll subscribe. And if you like these kinds of videos and you'd like to be able to have them for future references easily at your fingertips, head on over to Patreon where you can get MP3s or my transcripts, PDFs, or notes on videos. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Jeff. Take really good care of your voices, enjoy singing, and hopefully we'll see you again. Bye.